Welcome to Sideline Spotlight. I'm Big Will Evans, and we are hitting the final stretch of the college football season. And today we have a huge lineup of games that could really shake up what's becoming a very crowded playoff picture. We will look at the marquee games in a moment, but first, let's take a look at the playoff committee's playoff projection. And, well, not too much movement from last week. Georgia is still at the 5 seed, match with the group of 5 representative USF. Alabama still at 4 with a bye, and would play Georgia in the second round if the Dogs beat the Bulls. Ohio State, Indiana, and A&M remain the top 3 teams in the tournament. The biggest move this week is Texas. The Longhorns were one of the first teams out last week, but they moved up to 10 and into the bracket despite having a bye week. Texas is back in action today, and it's a big one. They are headed to Athens to take on the 5th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. It's a rematch of last year's SEC championship game. Georgia won an overtime thriller to take the conference title last season. Gunnar Stockton came off the bench in the second half. Georgia actually beat Texas twice last year, beating them in Austin earlier in the season. However, Coach Kirby Smart says last year's result had no impact on their preparation for today's game.
Yeah, this team didn't beat Texas. That team, and this Texas hasn't played this team of ours. So 2 completely different teams, in my opinion. So I think it has 0 effect on it.
The Dogs have been in a lot of close games this season, but they finally made a statement 1 week ago, blowing out Mississippi State, so they came into this one feeling good. As for Texas, this game is the definition of a make or break. A win would rocket them up the pole, but a loss could end their hopes of making the playoffs. After struggling early on, the Horns have turned their season around. They entered the season as the #1 team in America, but lost their opener to Ohio State. Then they were upset by unranked Florida earlier in the year, but they have now won 4 conference games in a row. And the last time we saw them, they took down then 9th-ranked Vanderbilt. The Longhorns are treating every game like it is championship week.
Since we lost to Florida, the first bullet point when I talked to the team about what it takes is this is an SEC championship game, and that went back now for the last month. And so this week's not different that way. It's not like we're putting more into it than that. It is what it is. If we want to play in an SEC championship game, we got to win Saturday night. It just is what it is.
Texas and Georgia kicks off at 7:30 right here on News Channel 9. Alabama is also taking on a team that's fighting to stay in the playoff conversation. They host Oklahoma this afternoon. The Sooners are listed as one of the first teams out of the playoff right now, so they will have something to prove. But Alabama has extra motivation for this one. For the Crimson Tide, this is a chance for revenge. The Sooners upset Alabama last season, pretty much knocking them out of the playoff picture. But Alabama is much better this year. They've won 8 in a row and just dominated rival LSU 20-9. Coach Kalen DeBoer says he's more focused on the team's growth than the past, but yeah, they don't forget last year.
That's the focus is, again, how did we get to this point this year to where we've had the success? What's it going to take to be our best on Saturday? And so, again, you try to hone in on that, but you can't help but remember, the past. And those questions that you asked just now were also asked, a few weeks ago when we played Vanderbilt and so forth. And so, our guys, should remember that because our experiences help us be better the next time around.
Kickoff is set for 3:30 here on News Channel 9. On News Channel 9 triple header, we'll start with a game between 2 teams who have a shot to make the field of 12. Pitt hosting the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Notre Dame has won 7 in a row after losing back-to-back games to start the season. They have 1 win over a ranked opponent, that's USC. So a win over ranked Pitt would certainly boost that resume. The 7-2 Panthers, they are still in the mix for the ACC title. A loss would not hurt their chances for that, but a win would prove huge for their ranking and potential playoff chances. Kickoff is set for noon. That is the triple header you'll see here on News Channel 9 today. Over on Fox Chattanooga, you'll see Michigan taking on Northwestern. That one is being played at Wrigley Field. Then Texas Tech is in action against UCF, plus games on the CW Chattanooga and SoCon action on MyNet. It's another huge day of college football. Still ahead, the Vols return to Neyland Stadium, and UTC looks to upset the top team in the SoCon. Sideline Spotlight rolls on next. Welcome back to Sideline Spotlight. The Tennessee Vols will be back inside Neyland Stadium today. They take on New Mexico State at 4:15 this afternoon. The Vols will close out the season with 2 tough games. Next week, they head to the Swamp for a battle with the Gators. Then they host rival Vandy. After that, you would imagine staying focused on 3-6 New Mexico State might be tough for Coach Heupel and company, but he says the Aggies have their full attention.
This is our next opportunity to play. There's a lot of areas that we got to get better in. Got good work in the middle part of last week, and this is our next opportunity. What happens after, that's after. You can't control any of that. So same thing that we talk about consistently in our program, all phases of the year, control and win right now.
And check this out. The Vols will wear these volunteer spirit uniforms today. It's the newest version of their smoky gray uniforms. This year's edition pays tribute to Davy Crockett and the Armed Forces. It's also homecoming in Knoxville. It'll sure to be a big day up at Neyland. The Chattanooga Mocs have a tall task on the road today. They are in Macon, Georgia to take on the SoCon champs, the Mercer Bears. Mercer claimed the conference crown last week with a win over Western Carolina. It would be a long shot for the Mocs to make the FCS playoffs, but a win over the conference's top team would absolutely help. More importantly, a win here and a strong finish to the season would help the Mocs build for the future.
Yeah, I think, we've done a great job of improving each week and learning from, some of our mistakes. And, we want to see how we stack up from the beginning of the year when we didn't look as great on defense to, playing the conference champs. So it's a great test for us to see how far we've come and, just continue to finish the season strong.
UTC Mercer kicks off at 3 p.m. on ESPN+. Before we go, here's another look at the football lineup you'll see on our network's news. Channel 9 opens up with Notre Dame taking on Pitt at noon. Then Alabama takes on Oklahoma at 3:30. Georgia and Texas close out the night at 7:30, plus games on Fox Chattanooga and the CW Chattanooga, plus SoCon action on MyNet. Another big day of college football. That's it for this week's Sideline Spotlight. Join us again next week. In the meantime, you can head to newschannel9.com for more SEC, Mocs, and high school football coverage. Have a great Saturday.